Hello there, I'm Kristen Clark, and I want to thank you for joining me and my teammates, Benjamin Van Vechten, Emma Carr, and Gabrielle Eggert, as we take a closer look at social media in the workplace, how it can help you or hurt you. We're all familiar with social media platforms, aren't we? They're the apps and websites we use to create and share data and to network with others. The use of social media is an everyday part of life. Oftentimes, without even knowing, we have our phone in hand and we're scrolling through posts on our favorite platform. Are you a Facebook fanatic or a LinkedIn junkie? Perhaps your favorite platform is Snapchat or Twitter. Social media has become such a large part of our lives, it's not difficult to imagine why it would be utilized in the workplace. In fact, Facebook has launched a social network designed specifically for business use. According to revive.social.com, Workplace by Facebook is now used by 14,000 businesses, including large corporations such as Starbucks and Club Med. This internal social media platform allows employees to share content and to communicate within the company. Additionally, sites such as LinkedIn provide employees the opportunity to build their communities in practice across the globe. By connecting with others employed in similar fields, individuals can expand their knowledge and solve problems more quickly. While platforms like Twitter give users the ability to microblog, perfect for short business messages. There are many ways that you can benefit from the use of social media in the workplace, but, as we'll examine, there also can be some pitfalls too. While the use of social media in the workplace hasn't been around for too long, it has already had a profound impact, as my teammate Benjamin Van Vechten explains.
Thank you, Kristen, for that very informative introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Benjamin Van Vechten. I will be discussing the impacts that social media has had in the workplace. One of the most vital parts of becoming a professional in the workforce is learning how to communicate effectively. Without communication, the entire workforce is unable to efficiently complete tasks. Because of this, and because of the widespread use of technology, the ability to communicate has become even more important. While technology does enable easier access to communication, it also depends on the proficiency of the user. Just like other tools, technology can be used well or misused. Technology has opened the door for the addition of many productivity tools into the workplace, social media being one of them. Although social media is most popularly used by private individuals for entertainment purposes, it can also serve as a valuable tool for workers and businesses. The main impacts that social media has had in the workplace are in the areas of communication and accessibility, hiring, and advertising. Social media is not the most productive medium to use for communication, but it is convenient, allowing for quick and simple messages. These messages can be transmitted either directly to a desired recipient or posted for selected groups to view. This diverse method of communicating increases ease of communication and accessibility of information for companies and their workers. Another area of the workplace social media has impacted is hiring. Since social media is mainly used by individuals for entertainment or self-expression purposes, companies have begun to narrow down job applicants using background checks from social media. This allows them to further narrow down their pool before beginning the interview process. The final workplace area that social media has impacted is advertising. The internet has never before been as accessible as it is today. Companies take advantage of this and post advertisements online so that customers or their potential clients could see them across all of social media. In conclusion, the rise of technology and social media has impacted the workplace in many different ways. Just a few of those ways are in the areas of advertisement, hiring, and communication and accessibility. Thank you all for listening to my presentation. I'd like to introduce Emma Carr, who will be discussing the potential benefits of including social media in the workplace.
Thanks again, Benjamin, for discussing the overall impacts of using social media in the workplace as a whole. As stated, I'm going to be more specifically discussing the benefits of using social media in the workplace. As Kristen mentioned, for example, there is an entirely new realm of advertising that has been opened up to businesses now with the use of social media. For example, you may log on to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram and see an entirely new hair salon or restaurant that you've never even heard of before. For businesses, this is a great way for them to get themselves on the map and begin promoting their business. Along with this, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter typically provides ad tracking software, so businesses are more able to accurately track the success of their advertisements. And in terms of comment sections, consumers are now able to provide more direct feedback on how businesses are providing for them as a whole. Along with advertising, communication within the company has been improved as a whole, though as Benjamin discussed, this may not always be the best option in terms of social media use in terms of communication with their employees. For example, HR is now able to quickly relay company policies, company information, or more easily plan group events with other employees. This has been extremely beneficial in terms of quick access and communication for companies, but in terms of big messages, big announcements, it may not always be the best channel for employers to discuss with their employees. Along with this, in terms of communication, coworkers are able to communicate more easily with each other through uses of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or other channels of social media, so that group projects are more easily able to be collaborated on, and that there is a more direct success in terms of company productivity. Along with this, recruiting has been affected extremely by the social media world. In terms of human resource management is now able to directly look at Facebook profiles, Instagram profiles, and Twitter profiles of potential employers and those seeking jobs. This allows for human resources to more easily weed out who directly fits or correlates with the company's policies and who fits the profile for who they are looking for as an individual and a potential employee. Sometimes in terms of social media use, this can be negative for the social media user. For example, if you have shared content on your Instagram or Facebook that you don't want potential employees to see, it may be a negative for you, but more beneficial for employees in terms of seeking out the correct employee for the job. In terms of LinkedIn, Facebook, and other social media sites, human resources recruiters can now more easily build a business profile for you as an individual employee and see whether or not you are a best fit for them. I'm now going to turn things over to Gabby, and she's going to discuss more specifically some of the disadvantages of using social media in the workplace.
So as we've already learned, there are definitely some benefits to using it and to having it in the workplace, but with every positive comes a negative. So according to a study done by Nucleus Research, a company that allows its employees to use Facebook in the workplace loses 1.5% of its productivity. Being distracted at work has become very easy thanks to these social media platforms. We are so easily and so ready to just pick up our phones and scroll, and time passes so fast when you're not even looking and when you're just kind of browsing. We have this instant gratification that we've become accustomed to, and now when we go to work, we expect that we can do it there as well, and that's not always the case unless you work at one of these social media companies, which not everybody does. Another article called Social Media Use in the Workplace, a study of dual effects by author John Carlson states, although various forms of social media were ostensibly developed as tools to augment relationship building, many argue that using social media actually degrades relationship and connectivity and also decreases productivity. Most people in a workplace refrain from browsing on their phones for too long, or they do it in secret since their boss may scrutinize them for wasting time. Because of this guilty pleasure feeling that we can get, we might want to spend more time on our phones and less on our work. I know if I'm working and I pull out my phone for a second, I have to do it very quickly because we're not allowed to have our phones. So I really only ever use mine to check for text messages, for an emergency, or to see if there's anything that I need to be aware of, in my surroundings. But I don't ever use social media on my phone at work because it does come across as being lazy or not really caring about what you do, which everybody should care just a little bit about what they do. And in the same article, it was also found that although social media is used as a networking tool between coworkers and employees, it promotes more casual relationships, which can lead users to overlook their meaningful ones. And the article reads, additionally, the time and energy spent on social media may come at the expense of time spent on tasks as well as time that would otherwise be used in maintaining real-time relationships, thereby damaging the authenticity of relationships over time. And that's very true. If you think about the relationships that you keep only in touch with over social media, they are very casual. You might not exchange very personal, deep information, which is how we build strong relationships. So it used to be that you come into work and you hang out with your work friends and you talk to them and you get to know them. But now with social media, we go in to work and we do our jobs with the people we work with, but we might not develop these meaningful relationships with them, which can harm our work ethic. And another way that social media damages the workplace is by the fact that employees use these platforms such as Twitter and Facebook to make posts about the company, and they could be both good or bad. So if they're negative, then that is just promoting a negative ideal from the company. So according to Career Addict, allowing employees to access social media platforms at work makes your organization more vulnerable to potential breaches in confidentiality or a possible tarnished image. So now that we have a pretty good idea of how social media affects the workplace environment, let's head back to Kristen for the conclusion.
There's little doubt that social media has revolutionized how we communicate in the workplace. With ease, we are able to connect with others and share content and ideas, correspond and collaborate with fellow employees, maintain contact with customers and suppliers, and network with individuals employed in a similar line of work. The ability to reach a wide audience allows you to build your brand and expand your sphere of knowledge by staying current with influencers and the pulse of your industry. Indeed, there are many advantages to social networking in the media place. However, if used improperly, it can cause more harm than good. Social media can become a distraction and lead to mistakes in your work. Over time, this can cause reduced productivity. It's important to focus on an intended goal or outcome when using social media at work. Overall, social media has allowed for increased connectivity, and although there are some challenges, they can be overcome with mindfulness and diligence. Smart use of social media can help you to go far in your career.